What does it take to unravel a family, to break a bond forged by years of love and lies? I've asked myself that question every day since I sat my son, Ethan, down and told him the truth about his mother. It was a truth I'd buried for over a decade, locked away in the deepest part of my heart, where pain festers but never fades. I thought I was protecting him. I thought silence was mercy. But that day, as I watched his face harden, I realized some truths, once spoken, can't be unspoken. And now, Ethan hasn't called his mom since. I was 28 when I met Sarah. She was a wildfire, all spark and energy, with a laugh that could light up a room. We were young, reckless, and in love, married within a year. Ethan came soon after, a tiny bundle of joy who made every sleepless night worth it. But wildfires burn out, and Sarah's light dimmed over time. By the time Ethan was 10, our marriage was a house of cards, trembling under the weight of her secrets. I didn't know the full extent, then just glimpses of late-night phone calls, unexplained absences, and a growing distance in her eyes. When we divorced, I let her spin the story. She told Ethan I was the one who walked away, that I couldn't handle her dreams. I didn't correct her. He was just a kid. He needed his mom. Life moved on as it does. I raised Ethan alone, working double shifts at the factory to keep us afloat. He was a good kid, quiet, thoughtful, with his mother's eyes but my stubborn heart. Sarah drifted in and out of his life, calling sporadically, visiting when it suited her. She'd breeze in with gifts and stories of her adventures, and Ethan would hang on her every word. I'd watch from the sidelines, biting my tongue, knowing each visit left him a little more broken when she vanished again. He'd ask me why she left, and I'd mumble something about her needing space. I couldn't bring myself to tell him the truth. Not yet. Years passed, and Ethan grew into a man. At 18, he was ready to leave for college, full of dreams and questions. He started asking about the divorce more often, piecing together the gaps in the stories Sarah had fed him. I dodged his questions, but they kept coming, sharper each time. "Why did you let her go, Dad? Why didn't you fight for her?" His voice carried an edge of blame, and it cut deeper than I'd ever admit. I wanted to protect him, but I was losing him to a lie. Then came the twist I didn't see coming. One rainy afternoon, as I was sorting through old boxes in the attic, I found a letter tucked inside a book Sarah had left behind. It was from a man named Marcus, dated a year before our divorce. The words were like a punch to the gut. "I'll wait for you, Sarah. Just leave him. We can start over." My hand shook as I read it, the pieces falling into place. Sarah hadn't just drifted, she'd been planning to leave us long before the end. The letter wasn't the only thing I found. There were photos, emails printed out, a whole hidden life she'd kept from me, from us. I sat on that discovery for weeks, wrestling with what to do. Ethan was home for the summer, and I could see the weight of his questions growing heavier. He deserved the truth, didn't he? But what would it cost him? I thought about Marcus, now just a name in a letter, but back then, a shadow over our family. I thought about the years I'd spent shielding Ethan from pain, only to watch him idolize a mother who'd chosen someone else. I couldn't carry the lie anymore. So, one evening, I called him into the living room. The air was thick with the scent of rain, and the TV flickered in the background, forgotten. "Ethan," I said, my voice steadier than I felt, "there's something you need to know about your mom." His eyes narrowed, wary but curious. I told him everything, the late nights, the lies, the letter from Marcus. I showed him the evidence, each piece a dagger to the image he'd built of her. I didn't sugarcoat it, but I didn't vilify her either. I just laid out the truth. Sarah had chosen a different life, one that didn't include us, long before she walked out the door. Ethan didn't say much. He sat there, staring at the letter in his hands, his jaw tight. When he finally spoke, His voice was low, almost a whisper. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" I tried to explain about protecting him, about wanting him to have a mother he could love, but he just shook his head and walked out into the rain. I didn't follow. Some battles you have to let someone fight alone. That was 6 months ago. Ethan hasn't called Sarah since. Her number still lights up his phone now and then, but he lets it go to voicemail. I hear her voice sometimes, tinny and distant, leaving messages he never returns. "Ethan, honey, it's Mom. Please call me." I don't know if he listens to them. I don't ask. Part of me hopes he does, that he'll find a way to forgive her. But another part, the part that's still raw from her betrayal, understands why he can't. Last week, something unexpected happened. Ethan came home from college for a weekend visit, and we were sitting at the kitchen table, the same one where we'd shared countless meals as a broken family. He looked at me, his eyes softer than they'd been in months. "Dad," he said, "I met someone at school. Her name's Lily." He told me about her, how she's studying psychology, how she makes him laugh, how she lost her dad when she was young. "She gets it," he said, and I knew he meant the pain of a fractured family. Lily wasn't just a girlfriend. She was a mirror, reflecting the parts of Ethan he'd kept hidden. Lily's presence changed something in him. He started talking more, not just about her, but about everything: his classes, his dreams, even the divorce. One night, he asked me about Marcus. "Do you think Mom loved him?" he asked. I didn't have an answer, not a good one. But I told him what I believed, that Sarah loved Ethan in her own flawed way, even if she couldn't stay. He nodded, and for the first time, I saw a flicker of peace in his eyes. I don't know if Ethan will ever call his mom again. I don't know if forgiveness is possible after a truth like that. But I see him healing piece by piece, with Lily by his side, and a future he's building for himself. I think about Sarah sometimes, wondering if she knows the cost of her choices. I wonder if she lies awake at night, replaying the messages Ethan doesn't answer. I hope she does. Not out of spite, but because it means she still cares. As for me, I've learned that truth is a heavy thing, sharper than any lie. I told Ethan the truth to set him free, but it cost him his mother. Maybe one day he'll find a way to bridge that gap. Maybe he won't. All I know is that I'll be here through every silence, every storm, because that's what fathers do. We carry the weight, even when it breaks us, so our children can find their way.